This is No One from Nowhere, and you are, and I am a Spirit of God. Today I want to talk to you about, did fallen angels from Mars create Nephilim giants? Enemies of Yahweh Enlil in Bible. First, a couple jokes. Please remember that atheism is a non-profit organization, and in life when you get to your wit's end, you will find that God lives there. Genesis 6:4. In those days and for some time after, giant Nephilites lived on the earth. For whenever the sons of God had intercourse with women, they gave birth to children who became the heroes and famous warriors of ancient times. Do you ever wonder who the giant Nephilites really were? What really happened with the Anunnaki, Ajiji, Watcher, fallen angels? And where are they found in the Bible? And how does the Anunnaki, Watchers, fallen angels, Ajiji, and the great gods Anu, Enlil, and Enki tie into all this? And how did the giant Goliath that David killed tie into this as well? First, I take you to Genesis 6:6-7. So the Lord Yahweh Enlil was sorry that he had ever made them and put them on earth. It broke his heart. And the Lord Yahweh Enlil said, I will wipe this human race I have created from the face of the earth. Yes, I will destroy every living thing. All the people, the large animals, the small animals that scurry along the ground, and even the birds in the sky. So Lord God Enlil decided to do a planetary reset. Why would he do this? The wickedness that troubled Enlil was the marriage between the sons of the Ajiji and other Anunnaki gods with female earthlings. Very important to press upon you that this was an intermarriage, not between different race or different races of the same species like we do on Earth. No, this was between two different planetary species, between Mars and Earth, a practice that Lord Enlil hated with a passion. According to 1 Enoch 7:2, the Watchers, who are called the Watchers because they watched Earth from Mars, and these became what we know as the fallen angels because they fell in love with human women and had intercourse with them. The offspring of those unions and the Nibiru or Nibiru knowledge corrupted the ways of the humans on the earth and the earth itself. In 1 Enoch 10:11-12, all the earth has been corrupted by the effects of the teachings of Azazel. To him ascribe the whole crime. Azazel is Marduk, and the Ajiji from Mars are the fallen angels. So in 1 Enoch 6:6, there were in all 200 and came down on Ardus, which is the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because on it they swore and bound one another with curses. So then in Enoch 7:1, and they took wives for themselves, and everyone chose for himself one each. And they began to go into them and were promiscuous with them. And they taught them charms and spells and showed them the cutting of roots and trees. So these gods, the Ajiji gods, came down from Mars and taught the knowledge of heaven or Nibiru or Nibiru knowledge after intermixing and marrying the human women. And then again in 1 Enoch 7:2, and they became pregnant and bore large giants who are the Nephilim. In the beginning, essentially, we also had here on earth two clans, the Enlilites and the Inkites. Enlil had his half-brother Enki, that had a son named Marduk, whom is Azazel in the book of Enoch, who chose for the first ever Anunnaki Nabirian pure blood a female human wife, and her name was Serpenippon, who had a half human and another half from the DNA of Nibiru, and their son was called Nabu. Not only this, but from the book of Enoch and from the planet Mars we find the Anunnaki were using the subservient Agigi gods to use and operate the planet Mars as a way station for the Anunnaki gold mining expedition. So at Belbek, Lebanon, the Agigi come down for Marduk's wedding to Serpenippon, and the ancient texts implicate that these gods also took wives forcibly with or without permission from them or the wives, as well as the council of the Anunnaki gods, including King Anu and Lord Enlil. And this act and more made these actions forbidden, and an emphasis word is perverted example to the rank and file of the Anunnaki, Nephilim, and the subservients Agigi. So no wonder why Enlil, the earth's commander and great disciplinarian, said, "I will wipe the Adam that I have created off the face of the earth." So hopefully this will show you and give you new light to Lord Enlil. And remember, Anunnaki means princely offspring of King Anu and Antu. So Anu, hence, is Anunnaki. And these Elohim gods are mainly of earth, and the Agigi refers to gods of heaven. So we have those who from heaven to earth came down. So prior to the flood, we find the intermixing with the Agigi gods' DNA from another planet called Mars with the Earthlings, and this is a forbidden act. So Enlil decides to wipe everything clean with the knowledge of the ice shells that he knows will create a huge flood and the deluge. The term Nephilim was first used in Genesis 6:4, and then after the flood, we find the Nephilim in Numbers 13:33. It states, "We even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak. Next to them we felt like grasshoppers, and that's what they thought too." What the Israelites after the Exodus with Moses in charge really saw were the giants made by the sons of Anu, which means Anunnaki, and the created Nephilims, which meant the DNA manifestations brought about by the illegal weddings of the Agigi and some of the other Anunnakis. The created race were the Nephilim giants. So again, another biblical example found in Deuteronomy 1:28. "Where can we go?" they asked. "Our brothers have demoralized us with their report. They tell us the people of the land are taller and more powerful than we are, and their towns are large, and walls rising high into the sky. We even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak." Again, we find the Anak or Anunnaki in Deuteronomy 8:2. "The people are strong and tall, descendants of the famous Anakite giants. You have heard the saying, who can stand up against the Anakite giants?" So are the Anunnaki alien Elohim Anak Agigi gods just a myth? To conclude, the biblical Nephilim were the Anunnaki, Agigi, gods of Mesopotamia. And whilst reading the Bible, then it dawned on me that the Anakim was simply a Hebrew rendering slogan term for the Sumerian, Akkadian, Anunnaki, Elohim gods. How does the giant Goliath tie into all this? Well, the answer is found in Joshua 11:22. None of the descendants of Anak were left in the land of Israel. Though some still remained in Gaza, keyword next is Gath and Ashdod. The uncaptured strongholds were all cities of a Philistine coastal territory or enclave, and an additional reason for equating the Anakim with giants and or the Anunnaki subspecies Agigi Nephilim giants. For King David's giant adversary Goliath was 9 feet tall and also from Gath, a Philistine city where Anunnaki giants called Anakim lived. 1 Samuel 17:50-51. So David triumphed over the Philistine with only a sling and a stone, for he had no sword. Then David ran over and pulled Goliath's sword from its sheath. David used it to kill him and cut off his head. Even King Saul, the king prior to David, was a type of a giant, found in 1 Samuel 10:23, because he stood and shoulders above anyone else. The Bible mentions the Anakim and also the Raphaim, a term that meant healers, who were also in Deuteronomy 2:10-11. A race of giants called the Emites had once lived in the area of Ar. They were as strong and numerous and tall as the Anakites, another race of giants. Both the Emites and the Anakites are also known as the Rephaites, through the Moabites called them Emites. They were indeed giants upon the earth in pre- and post-deluge times. Called the Anunnaki, Nephilim, Agigi, later called the Anakites or Anakim, Emites, and Rephaites, and Amorites in the Bible. 2 Peter 2:4. For God did not spare even the angels who sinned. He threw them into hell, in gloomy pits of darkness, where they are held until the day of judgment. So no wonder why Moses was a basket case. He had to go against giants all the time. I love you so much. Peace and love to you, and always remember that you have the DNA of the Most High Gods. Peace and love to you.